Hello, boys and girls. Welcome to the Cool Kids Lunch Table Podcast with PJ and Mike. Now find yourself a seat at their table.
Hey kids, I'm Mike.
I'm PJ.
And today we're going to be reviewing two films. I'm going to be reviewing the Oscar-winning animated film, Flow, and PJ will be reviewing the new film that just came out, the fantasy adventure film called Legend of Ochi. So I'm excited, PJ. I somewhat heard about that movie that you saw, mainly through you. And Flow won Best Animated Feature.
Yeah. I'm interested in watching that at some point myself.
Yes.
I am interested to hear what you say about it because it is something I wanted to get around to watching. You know I love a good animated movie.
Yeah. So maybe we'll start with Flow. Is that cool?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right,
for it.
Go with the Flow. So folks, Flow is a movie that won Best Animated Film this year at the Oscars. So it came out 2024. It's by a Latvian director. His name is Gins Villabolodis. Hopefully I'm pronouncing it correctly. So production, just to give you some background, it started back in 2019, right? So it lasted 5.5 years, and animation was done using free and open source software like Blender. So this guy, this guy is, an independent filmmaker and his crew. And what I love about this is he did it with no storyboards and there were no deleted scenes. So everything that is in it, it is in it. So he was very meticulous, right? So like I said, it won Best Animated Feature. So I say this is my favorite movie that I watched this year, like in 2025, that I saw some old movies this year so far and some new ones, but this is my favorite one so far. So basically, just to give an idea what it's about a black cat who lives it's like in an unknown land, There's no more humans present in the film. You see some statues of humans, but there's no actual humans in it. Basically, a giant flood occurs, and then this cat, it doesn't go by a name. It's just,
He's just a cat.
Yep.
Okay.
A black cat seeks refuge like in an abandoned sailboat. And inside that sailboat is another animal, a capybara. And along the way, they meet other animals, a lemur, a secretary bird, a dog, a Labrador retriever. And basically, they just kind of trying to just survive together on this boat looking for dry land. And that's kind of the basis of this gigantic flood.
Almost like a Homeward Bound sort of thing.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
Yep, I was going to say. So this movie definitely has like a Homeward Bound feel. The movie Life of Pi, I love that movie. That came out a few years ago by, oh my God, I'm drawing a blank. Well, he did, oh my God, what's his name?
I'll look him up. I have a Googler.
All right, he did, I'm pretty sure. Ang Lee, is it Ang Lee?
Did Ang Lee do Life of Pi? It might have been.
It is.
Ang Lee directed Life of Pi, yeah.
Okay, movie's awesome. So if you like Life of Pi, you like Homeward Bound, you're going to like this. So what makes this movie unique, though, there is no voice acting. So it's not like anthropomorphic. That's like Disney film, like Lion King when the animals talk.
Yeah.
None of that. So all the animals, the only sounds they make are like, they recorded actual animals making noises.
So it's so I'm hearing like a cat meow and a dog bark. Interesting. Interesting. So the storytelling then with the animation has to be so crisp and so clean and clear because you're telling a story with absolutely no words, then the imagery has to tell the story.
Yeah. And they nail like the behaviors of the animals. Like, so like you, PJ, you own a dog, I own a cat, two cats, like they behave like this movie. I have a cat, a black cat actually named Zoe. I'm like, oh my God, that is my cat.
Wow.
Just the way it behaves and like the way it gets annoyed. That's how my cat gets annoyed when I'm starting to pet her too much or kiss her too much, she gets annoyed. So this cat is definitely like they nailed the behaviors of all the animals. Like you really feel like you're almost watching like a documentary, almost like watching these animals kind of survive. Yeah, so the movie just feels really authentic. It feels real. I know some people might be put off when there's no dialogue in it, but if you like the movie WALL-E, that's primarily no. Yeah, WALL-E just goes whoa.
WALL-E's one of my favorite animated movies of all time, and there's really no talking until they get to that.
Yeah, the spaceship.
The spaceship, yeah. And even then, it's not a lot of talking.
Yeah. So this is basically like kind of all of WALL-E,
okay.
With that. But yeah, the animals are just awesome. Like, you just love all the characters. And you feel them. Like, so it kind of has like, like one character's like, oh, I know that guy. I have a friend who's like that, Then you have another, you can tell like there's another character, like there's like one character, the lemur, he's a little bit more of like a kleptomaniac, who likes to steal crap. The Labrador is kind of like your dumb fun friend who's like annoying but kind, but it's really good. Like it's like I said, I have nothing but praise to say. Like it's
how long is it?
It's only like an hour and 25 minutes. So it's like rock.
I was gonna say it feels like it has to be short based on no dialogue.
Yep. short, but it feels good, man. And like you really feel like you're on, the ride with them, in this boat. You really feel like you're with them. Yeah, I love the animation. I love the style of the animation. Like it's not as clear as a Pixar, or a Disney kind of look. But part of me says, like, even though those movies look great, like Disney and all that, something best now, because it's been done so many times, almost feels like generic, and it kind of lacks
Mm-hmm.
a style. This makes the movie feel even more like real and authentic, because it kind of has like that
Right.
style to it. It's really great. Movies like the Mario movie, Super Mario movie, or How to Train Your Dragon. They're all kind of that same realm, like very crisp.
Yeah.
But a movie like the Lego movie had even more charm to it, because the animation there, obviously, they held the block movement. So
Right.
this having that kind of, it's not like the animation is choppy. It's just really like the textures, and the movie, it being very flowing with all this water, it just makes it more mystical. And
You know what gets me about those other animated movies that are all polished? I think they're great. Don't get me wrong. I feel like they all have the same eyes. I don't know
yes,
if that makes sense.
yep, nope,
And when you
yep,
watch it, there's like sometimes it feels like there's just no emotion behind the characters because
yeah.
there's something with the cartoony eyes that they give them that they don't emote well.
Yes, no, absolutely. I put that in my notes. Just like there's like a genericness to it, and
Yeah.
a vacantness. Like this movie really nails that vibe. Simple story. Like I said, like it's, you know, I don't want to even say that it's predictable, because that'd be unfair. Like certain things you can go like, okay, you have an idea, I know where this might go, but I
Mhm.
gotta say most of it, you're like, all right, how is this gonna end? Because you're kind of
Right.
along the way, okay, I can see this happening, but you're like, um, but like I said,
Because
you really,
they're obviously not out to save humanity, these animals.
no, 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 they're
They're
just
just trying
trying
to
to.
live their lives and be safe.
Yeah, exactly. They're just trying to
Right.
live on. They're just trying to go. They're
Yeah.
really basically looking for dry land, and they're kind of waiting out this storm. There's a lot of
Right.
rain. Then they're, you know, they're like the flood's so high, like you're on top of the treetop, so they just see the top of trees, kind of thing. Um, yeah, like I said, the movie just feels big. Like I said, you're along with them. You really know how they feel. At one point, they kind of run into, like, I guess it's like these like pack of dogs that they don't really like. And
Hmm.
at one point, you're like, you see them again, you're like, and they're like, let's just, I don't want to spoil it, but basically they're in a moral dilemma, and it's really good. It's really good. I don't know what else to say. The movie's charming. It's spiritual. It's funny. No, it's a very mature film. I think kids
This
would.
wasn't a wide release, right? I don't remember it hitting
No.
theaters or anything.
Yeah, because
Where did you have to? Was it on Netflix or something?
oh,
Like, where'd you?
good question. It was on
Yeah.
HBO Max,
Okay.
or Max.
Okay.
Yeah, and I wanted to see it, because I saw the two other films. Well, there was a couple of more that were nominated, but I saw, I guess, the heavy contenders. Excuse me, Inside Out 2,
Mm-hmm.
which I talked about on review, a while ago, so folks can check that out. But which I think is a good movie. There's nothing wrong with it. It's not as good as the first one, not as epic as the first one, Inside Out 2. I saw The Wild Robot. That was very good, cute, solid film.
That's
I,
the one I thought was gonna win.
yeah, me too. That's what I thought. Because I didn't
Yeah.
see Flow at the time. I put that down when we did our predictions. So I think it's gonna
Yeah.
be The Wild Robot, because it was very good, very good. But for me, Flow, I was like, wow, this definitely deserved to win Best Film for its category, definitely. But yeah, like I said, it's sometimes when you have a great movie, you don't really have much to say, because it's
Yeah.
it's just really good. I just recommend it. It's fun to watch. I would just say, in terms of audiences, like adults would definitely like it, easy to follow. Little kids, if they liked Wally, like I don't know how, like I don't know if like a 2-year-old, a 3-year-old, they can,
Right.
get into it, because there's no dialogue or anything. But if they can get into Wally, they can definitely get into this. I want to rewatch it, because like you just like going this journey with them. It really feels mature. It kind of has like a Lord of the Flies feel too. That's where that
Okay.
maturity comes in. There's some spiritual stuff in it. And yeah, you just love all the animals. Like you just want to, like, man, I want to adopt all these animals and hang out with them. So, but yeah, so I don't really have much to say, PJ, in my review. That it's on HBO Max. I totally recommend it. It's easy watch. It's, you can get emotional watching it too. It's a beautiful film. I don't know what else to say. It's really, really good. In terms of our rating system for our folks at home, just to give a refresher. So we do our rating system by 1 to 5, 5 being the best, but we do that with our
With our lunch table foods.
our lunch table food.
Yeah.
So the best score is chicken nuggets, then it's pizza, then it's peanut butter and jelly. That's like your average score. Then you have your mystery meat, which is like a 2, and then our banana peel, which is a 1. And then for half points, we add a side of French fries. So for this one, PJ, I'm giving chicken nuggets.
Wow. Full
Yeah,
chicken nuggets.
Yes, it's very good. It's very good. it's hard not to like. I mean, to not like this film, I don't know what to even say. I don't know what to even say. You can't watch this film and say it's not good. Like it's
Right.
enjoyable, it's charming. You might say, "Oh, I want more action in it," but it's not that kind of movie. It's very good. Yes, like I said, you feel like you're on this adventure. You feel like you're on the boat with them. I'll say that. When you're on that boat, you're with them. It's very good.
Well, I'm happy that we had a good movie to start this episode off with, because this episode's about to take a real turn.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
So, PJ, you saw Legend of Ochi, and I did no research on it because I just wanted to give you my full attention.
Let me set the stage for you here. First, let me pull up my notes on the Legend of Ochi. Here we go. So every Monday, well, not every Monday, but most Mondays, AMC does what's called Screen Unseen. And it's like an $8 ticket, but you don't know what movie you're going to see. All you know going in is the rating of the movie and the length of time of the movie, but you don't know what the movie's going to be. So over the last couple of weeks, I've seen so many different movies that I wouldn't have chosen to see. My Dead Friend Zoe, Magazine Dreams, Drop, several movies, right? I forget the name of the movie. It was a movie about a penguin, which we probably should review at some point because it's really The Penguin Lessons or something like that it was called.
Right.
It's a movie we probably should review because it was excellent, but that's not what we're here to talk about today. The last one I went to on Monday was The Legend of Ochi. Now, I had known a little bit about The Legend of Ochi going in. I thought I might be slightly interested in seeing it. It involves puppetry.
Right. Because when we were in preparation for this, because I wanted to make sure I spelled the name right, and I just looked at the poster. It looked like kind of like a labyrinth feel, kind of Jim Henson kind of thing. That's all I did. I didn't look up the storyline, nothing like that. I just saw the poster, and that was it.
Now, we have said on this show many times, we love a good puppetry. We love practical effects. It looks more real. There's more character. There's more skill. There's more emotion to it sometimes because the actors are actually interacting with the thing in many cases. So we've always said big on puppetry. So when I'm watching the movie and it's about to be revealed and I see the Legend of Ochi, I said, oh shit, I wanted to see this. What a good pick for this movie today. Couldn't have been more excited. Let me give you a little synopsis of the plot.
Sure.
There are two synopsises on synopsi. I don't know how you say that on IMDb. I'll read them both just because they both do a pretty good job of summing up the plot, and then I'll go into my feelings on it. So the IMDb standard blurb is: in a remote village on the island of Carpathia. Carpathia, by the way, I believe is where Vigo comes from. Scourge of Carpathia.
Right.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, where do I know that place from?
Ghostbusters 2.
Yeah, I was gonna say, wait a minute, I know that place. Okay.
Yeah. A shy girl was raised to fear an elusive animal species known as Ochi. But when she discovers a wounded baby Ochi has been left behind, she escapes on a quest to bring him home. That's the IMDb little blurb.
And it's another adventure film, kind of like.
It's another adventure film.
Which is nice. I think I think a lot of the film industry is missing adventure films.
Yes.
So it sounds like they're heading in the right direction.
The movie is written and directed by Isaiah Saxon. You've probably never heard of Isaiah Saxon. I believe this is his first feature that he's directed, from what I understand.
Sure.
And I think everything else that he's done, short films. When I say short, I mean under 10 minutes, and I believe they're all international films, nothing from America. So yeah, wouldn't know anything from him because he hasn't done anything. This cast also has the two big names in this cast: Willem Dafoe, big name guy, everyone knows Willem Dafoe, and Finn Wolfhard.
Well, the guy from Stranger Things.
The guy from Stranger Things and Ghostbusters: Frozen Empire. Yep. Yuri, the main girl, is played by Helena Zengel, and I don't know who she is outside of this movie. She's been in things that I've never heard of. She was fine in it, though. So that's just a little bit of the ins and outs, right? So essentially, you meet these people, these Carpathians, and they live in this village, and they try to just get by. They're obviously not a village with a lot of money or anything like that. It appears to be a very poor village, and it seems like every so often they have to go on a hunting expedition to kill the Ochi. Spoilers, folks. There'll be some spoilers. I'll try to keep it light.
All right.
Because the Ochi, they feel are dangerous to them.
And this takes place like a medieval times kind of vibe, right?
Oh no, it looks like it should. It is a nondescript era of time.
Oh, okay.
There are times you feel like this is taking place in a medieval time when
like
you
a
first
fantasy
get it,
type thing. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then it very quickly you realize, I don't know when the fuck this is happening, because there's like a Quickie Mart in there. Yeah, that,
Okay.
and a Quickie Mart that looks very modern. However, all the cars that you see people driving are very run down and old. It is all over the place.
Interesting.
All
Okay.
over the place, which I think hurts the film, because you're kind of like, what's happening?
Yeah.
If we have cars, can't we just drive away from the Ochi trying to hurt us? Like,
Can't you just drive the Ochi back to his family?
you know what I mean? Like, yeah, exactly. Can you just drive the Ochi back? It would have been better, I think, if it was a more fantasy time frame or setting, but it wasn't. It really was not. At some point, he does wear, and if you've seen pictures, I think he maybe on the poster, he's wearing what appears to be some sort of armored suit,
Yeah,
which
yeah,
would
yeah.
make you think he's a Viking or a
Yes,
knight.
exactly. Yeah,
But
from what I see.
no, he just makes that himself.
Okay.
Maybe he makes it. They actually give no explanation. He just goes in the house and comes out in that suit. So
okay.
I don't know if it's supposed to be something that was like a family thing, or if he built it himself. He really doesn't say. So I don't want to give too many spoilers because it's brand new, but there are going to be some. And the biggest one is you meet Yuri, who is this little girl who clearly is not like everyone else in this village. She doesn't have this bloodlust to kill the Ochi, to kill the animals. She has in her bedroom like a little pet. I don't know if it's a caterpillar or something, which is also done with puppetry. Everything that's not a human is a puppet.
Oh, okay.
And so it looks great. All of the puppetry looks great. But you get the sense that she's not like everyone else. She's not looking to hunt. She's not looking to hurt. She just wants to be at peace. You find out throughout the course of the movie that her father who's Willem Dafoe, doesn't like the Ochi. You're kind of led to believe that the Ochi maybe killed his wife / the girl's mother.
Yeah.
You find out Finn Wolfhard's character isn't really related to them, but this guy took him in, and you kind of led to believe maybe his family is killed by Ochi. They don't really say, but maybe that's the feeling you get. So you start the movie thinking, all right, this guy is rough around the edges because of all the tragedy that's happened, but maybe he's a good guy because he took in the other kids.
Yeah.
And, killing the Ochi is just feels like he's doing the right thing, right? That's the kind of characterization you're getting for Willem Dafoe, and what you're getting from the little girl. And Finn doesn't have a lot of speaking roles or lines in this movie. You just kind of get the idea that he's not really an outcast. He's just the top kid. Only kids hunt the Ochi with this guy, by the way. You don't see adults going out. You see Willem Dafoe and then a bunch of kids, and you get the impression that Finn Wolfhard is the leader amongst these kids because he's raised by Willem Dafoe.
Right. How old is Yuri? Like, what is she, like 10 years old or something?
Yeah, she's small, probably like 10-ish, around that age. Like, you don't get teenager vibes from her, really.
Yeah.
Finn is the age that he is, with whatever age they want him to be in these movies. Because sometimes in Stranger Things, he's like in school, and then in the Ghostbusters, he's what, 17 or 18? So he's probably in that range somewhere. So there's a scene in the movie where now they go hunting because it's the night the Ochis are coming out, and they want to kill all the Ochi. They're hunting them down. A little baby Ochi gets separated from his mother. And Yuri winds up interacting with the baby Ochi, and she's like, I can't kill the Ochis. This little baby Ochi puppet, looks like a monkey, really.
Okay.
Is just too cute to kill. And the idea is we have to bring this Ochi home. The Ochi probably aren't bad. We're just on two different wavelengths, sort of a thing. And that's where the adventure kicks in, right? Because now she has to bring the Ochi back.
Yeah.
And it becomes an odd adventure film of her struggling to get this Ochi home. And then at one point, I won't spoil what happens. We'll say she gets sick or injured, and you think, oh, well, this is going to be the end of Yuri, until a strange woman of the forest comes to her rescue. And there's a bit of a plot twist there, which I'm not going to spoil. Inevitably, as you can sure guess, at some point, the father goes looking for the daughter with his minions. They find her. And is he going to have a change of heart and help her get the Ochi home? Or is he going to kill the Ochi and drag his daughter home? What's going to happen? Go see the movie if you want to know, because I'm not going to spoil it. That's the basic plot of the movie. Now, Now,
This movie, it sounds like a lot. I'm kind of like How to Train Your Dragon vibe, where like he gets the dragon, and then the whole village. I know, like the same. I know it's slightly different from what you're saying.
I get what. Yeah, no, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. I will say. Let me start with the positives. Let me put those out there. The film is beautifully shot.
Right.
In terms of cinematography, really well done. There are some scenes in there where you're like, wow, this really, the imagery, the way they capture the setting, it looks really, really good. For someone who's first time directing a feature film, for it to look that great, kudos to that guy.
Yeah.
So I'm sure it wasn't easy to pull that off. The puppetry.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Anytime you see an Ochi, anytime you see one of these other critters that show up, really, you think it's real. You truly do think it's really there. You think you're looking at these things.
Mm-hmm.
It's in some scenes the Ochi will interact with like the little bugs, right? That are also the puppetry bugs, and you don't even think you're looking at like a Muppet playing with a Muppet. Like,
right? Yeah,
I mean, it's really, really, really done well. If I had to judge it just on the imagery and the cinematography and the puppetry, this would have a stellar score.
Right.
But I have to judge it on all the things. The plot's a mess. It's so disjointed. Nothing flows together. I don't know if that's because it's his first film and he didn't do the right editing. I don't know if it's maybe because it's not. I don't know if this guy is an American filmmaker. So maybe, it's one of those things where he wrote it in a different language, and maybe throughout translation and acting, maybe it lost something there. I don't know, because I don't know where this guy is from. It's just maybe a guess. The plot, it's a mess. It's a mess. Everyone who was in the movie theater, some people left.
Wow.
I will say some people got up and left and like, I'm not staying for this. With the screen on scenes, I think if you're a Stubbs member, an A-list member, I think you can get your money back if you think it's that bad.
Whoa.
I think that's a thing they let happen because you don't know what movie it is going into it.
Yeah.
So I think you can get your money back. I don't know if you have an A-list membership or if you've ever had one. Basically, you get 3 to 4 movies a week you could see.
Yes,
without having to pay for it.
Yeah, I think my dad has that. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I think you can get your money back on a screen unseen. It still counts towards your movie selection for that week, so you don't get that back, but I think you can get the money back. People left. I don't know if I would have left. I don't think it was bad enough to leave.
Yeah.
But I understand where I feel like this is not a movie I wanted to see.
Yeah.
And it was, I went on a whim because it was a mystery movie anyway.
Yeah.
I'm just not into this. So I'm going to get the rest of my night back. I understand to an extent why people would do that on a screen unseen. For me, once I start a movie, I'm going to finish it. And I sat all the way, I sat all the way through. And I won't say I hated the movie by any stretch. Jen hated the movie. She was like, this movie is the worst movie.
How long was it? It
was hour and a half, hour and 40. It wasn't long.
All right, sorry, but that's bad. I hate that. When a movie's bad, it feels long.
I didn't actually think it felt long. I was so tuned in because I was so confused about what was happening, and I was just like paying attention to it because I was like, hey, I must be missing something. What am I missing?
Yeah.
That I didn't feel like it dragged on that long. There was always sort of something happening on the screen. It just was, the stuff that was happening was just befuddling.
Right.
You're like, what? This is the route that we've gone with this. Because as you're watching it, there's just so many other ways they could have gone where you would have been like, well, this would have been better, or this would have been better, or they could have foreshadowed this better so that I wasn't like completely confused. Like, sometimes you throw in a twist and you're like, oh shit, you like think back. Yeah. Like, now I can see where the twist is. Sometimes you put in a swerve and you're like, what the fuck? Where'd this come from?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like, there are things like that. And would I recommend someone see this movie? If you can watch it while it's streaming somewhere and you're not sitting in a theater, I ain't going to hurt you to watch it. I don't think it's bad enough where you shouldn't.
Yes.
Where you should walk out. I don't think you should pay to see this movie, but I don't think it's unwatchable. Again, I'm a big fan of practical effects, and so that will bump up the score just on that alone for me. You get it, but you start to look at this movie and you're like, you have Willem Dafoe, who is a grade A talent of an actor. I mean, he is a top tier actor. He's accomplished. I mean, he has done so many different types of roles. I mean, he's the Green Goblin. He's also Jesus.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like his range is just that he can do anything. Such a great character actor, very expressive with his emotions and his facial and all this other stuff. And you think if you could get an actor that big You want to utilize him in a way where he shines.
Yeah.
And they don't do that. And then you get an actor like Finn Wolfhard, who, I'm not saying this kid's the best actor in the world. He's one of maybe the most recognizable ones for a certain age group of people right now, right? Stranger Things, everyone seems to love Stranger Things.
Yep.
He's in those Ghostbusters movies. So, I mean, he's not like, who's this guy? You know him.
Yeah.
And you think you'd want to give him something more to do in the film just for that reason alone, so that you can put out a trailer or a commercial or something to draw people in. And you know the kid can act, so why not give him a little bit more to do? And I feel like he's totally underutilized. Now, I understand the main girl is the star of the movie.
Yeah.
And I don't think she's a bad actress by any stretch. I don't think she had a hell of a lot to work with.
Yeah.
I don't think she was strong enough to carry the whole film. And when I say there are other things they could have done, she didn't have to carry the whole film because you had a cast surrounding her that could have supported her more to make this feel bigger. I don't know. There was just so many missed opportunities, which makes it a shame. So
the rating,
I mean, I'll say I spent $8. I use one of my tickets that I get from the A-list membership. I have to pay for Jen's ticket, so that was $8 because it's only an $8 movie. The most expensive thing we bought was the hot dog and popcorn, right? So I mean, I'm not upset that I sat there through it because I paid very little money, and I like going to the movies. For the rating system, it ain't no chicken nugget. It ain't no pizza. I don't even think it's I think it's a PB&J.
Wow. Okay.
I think I would give this a mystery meat and fries.
Right. That's what I was about to say. It sounds like I was going to predict that. That sounds about fair.
It's a mystery meat and fries. If they had worse cinematography and they didn't have these really well done puppetry stuff, this could have been a banana peel. But there are some saving graces to the film. The rating on IMDb is a 6 and change out of 10, so slightly above average. I'm giving it slightly below average.
Yeah.
So take my thoughts, take the thoughts of the internet, put them together, and you have an average film.
Seems just like a missed opportunity because they have the cast, they have the effects locked down. We always say this, PJ, you and I all the time. It really comes down to story. That's what really is what carries the film, because all these other things are great, but if the story don't work, nothing else is really going to save it.
And that's what this movie is a victim of. And again, I don't know if maybe it would have been better if it was edited better or something. I don't know because I feel like there's a good movie in here.
Right.
I feel like there's a good movie somewhere in here because I mean, people love these kind of fantasy adventure kind of films. You think of like a Dark Crystal, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Or maybe even more appropriate, like a Never-Ending Story, because it's humans interacting more with puppets. And those things are so popular, and they're all adventure movies, and
Labyrinth.
Labyrinth. All of these movies are essentially the character starts in location A, meets some puppets along the way, and has to get to location B. That's all of these movies. So it works. The formula works. So why doesn't this movie work? I think it comes down to, like you said, storytelling, not using the actors to their fullest potential. But I think you should see it just for the puppetry. Because I think you'll appreciate that. I don't know if someone doesn't have a real affinity for that kind of thing, if they would appreciate it as much. But, mystery meat and fries.
Yep. I definitely will check it out once it's streaming. I'm not sure if I'm going to pay to see it now in theaters.
Yeah, don't pay to see it, but when it's streaming, you should watch it.
Yeah. I think that with both films, with Flo and this Legend of Ochi, it sounds like that movie's somewhat independent, and the studio just picked them up for that extra cash for the effects and maybe the the 2 stars that they had in it. While we're talking, PJ, I was thinking about both films, especially Flo. I think especially when it comes to independent filmmaking, and it comes to anything, even any of the arts, music, it's like having less forces you to make creative decisions. You know what I mean? Sometimes for the better, and sometimes even though you have those resources, you don't have that structure, that key thing, as Alfred Hitchcock said, the script is the most important thing of a film. It's nothing's gonna say that can't polish it. So it's rough. Okay, all right.
I'll tell you what, the best thing I started doing though are these screen on scenes, man. I love it. It takes the planning away. You don't have to like figure out what movie you want to see.
Yeah.
They're cheaper than going to a regular movie. You go to a movie and pay $20 a ticket. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm seeing a movie for $8. Yeah, I don't know what I'm gonna see, but none of them have been the worst movie ever. All of them have been great. But I can't recommend people do that enough. The screen on scenes. Check your you don't have to be a Stubbs member or anything or an A-list member to go to them. Anyone can go. I would say if you're near an AMC, look into it because it's fun. We've met people there that now, since we go regularly, you talk to the people, you see them. It's like a community of people. I think, I really do think it's a great gimmick that AMC is doing. And you got to get people back into the movie theaters because if people don't go back into the theaters, we're not going to have movies. And this is an easy way to make it into something fun.
I was going to say, I feel like they don't even promote it. $8
no, they don't.
is cheap because that way you can get the teenagers that don't have a lot of money,
Yeah.
Because if they have $8, they can spend let's say their parents give them $20 to go to the movie. You have $8 to get in, and now you have another 12 to get a hot dog, So it's really it benefits everybody. So
I think it's a great thing. The theaters are never full. They're never packed. It's always the same group of people. That's why I said it. Everyone seems to know each other because it's always the same group of people. But they really should promote it more. And I think other theater chains have their own version of this.
Yeah.
I just use AMC because I get it for cheaper because I have the stubs. But I don't think it's a bad idea at all. I think it's a great gimmick that they're doing. And it's getting you to see movies you wouldn't normally see, which is everyone's going to go to the big releases. I'm going to Thunderbolts next week because it's a Marvel movie. I'm going to go. I'm going to go to see the big movies anyway. This is a chance to see those smaller movies that you would never bother to see because you say the movies are expensive. I'm saving my money for the big stuff.
Or I'm going to wait for it.
Or I'm going to wait for street.
Yeah.
Right. This is a way to say, oh, you know what? I can see more movies and not spend a lot of money.
Yeah.
It's I think it's great. I think it's just great.
Yeah, totally. I agree.
Chicken nuggets for the screen unseen concept.
Right. Yeah.
I'll tell you that. Yeah.
Cool. So yeah, folks, we're recommending Flow. And then, PJ, would it be fair to say we recommend Legend of Ochi if you're into that kind of stuff, maybe on streaming. If you got,
I would say I would recommend it, but you gotta really love these adventure fantasy kind of films. You really gotta love puppetry, and otherwise, if you're not into those things, don't watch it. But if you are, you should check it out for the puppetry alone.
Yep. Nice. But yeah, folks, thanks for listening. We have more reviews definitely this summer coming up. We have a lot of movies to review coming. Yeah, buckle up. Same time, same table.
Have a good one.
Boys and girls, lunchtime is over. For more information, visit their website at coolkidslunchtable.podbean.com. Follow the boys on all social media platforms. Just search Cool Kids Lunch Table Podcast. Now get to class before you get detention.